Hey everyone, welcome to the Zen Mobile Yoga YouTube page. Subscribe if you haven't already and give me some ideas of what classes you would like to see. Today's video is a 15-minute yoga sequence for busy parents or busy caregivers. Raise your hand if you are one of those. I'm a parent personally, and I have 4 children, and my mind and my body have literally been through hell and back. I'm just kidding, darlings. Mommy loves you. Anyways, obviously from having children or taking care of children or being a caregiver, our body does go through some hard stuff. So we're going to be focusing on releasing some tension from the shoulders, lower back pain, sore feet. But we need to remember that the mental part of being a caregiver is equally important. So we're definitely not going to leave that out. I think you'll find that this sequence is going to leave you feeling refreshed, less stressed, and with your bucket filled to the brim. Let's do it. All right, we are going to start in easy pose or just having the legs crossed. And we want to kind of get ourselves into the present moment. So we're going to have a couple of breaths before we begin with any postures. Just rest the hands on the legs. Sit up nice and tall. You can have a soft gaze in the front of your mat on the floor, or close the eyes. And then begin to inhale and exhale, noticing what your breathing pattern is. Maybe starting to slow the breath down a little bit. Feeling where that breath is coming from, initiating it from the belly, the diaphragm in the belly, and then taking it up to the lungs, secondary. And then exhaling completely. Again, breathe in deep. Exhale completely. And then on your next inhalation, I want you to breathe in, but carry that breath to the hips and the lower back. Feeling as though you're creating space, softening the muscles in that area. And then again, exhaling. Breathing in, carrying the breath again to the hips and the lower back. And then up the spine. Exhale. And one last time, breathe in deep. Hips, lower back, up the spine, and into the shoulders. Emptying the lungs on your exhale. And then going back to a regular passive breath without any control or force. And then you can keep the eyes closed here or open them if they're not open already. And we're just going to do some neck stretches. So the only thing that's moving here is the neck and the head. Look over the right shoulder as far as you can. And then keep the chin as close to the chest as possible as you roll over the front of the chest, coming to the other side until you're looking over the left shoulder. And then again, come across the chest and stop wherever it feels good for you. So if you have a spot that's really tight, just spend a couple of breaths there. The good thing about you doing this in your living room is that you can go at your pace. Kind of check again where your breath is. Make sure the spine is long. And that we're not crunching the shoulders up by our ears, that we're just lifting the chest, moving the head. One more time. You might even get some cracking and crunching in the back of the neck, which is always good, feels good. And then when you are finished, just bring the head back to center. We're going to take care of the feet next. So giving some special attention to our feet. Just go ahead and cross the right leg over the left. If this isn't accessible to you, that is fine. However, you can figure out a way to reach your foot, to give yourself a little massage. That's what we're gonna do. As long as your ankle can be free and hanging, because we're gonna, do some rotations with the ankle at the end. Start by using your thumb, pressing underneath the second and third toe. So there's this padding underneath the second and third toe. We wanna put some pressure there. That part of our foot takes a lot of weight. Our feet do a lot of work for us anyways during the day, but just paying extra special attention to that spot for a moment. So go ahead and continue with both thumbs now, massaging down the foot, down to the heel, and then begin to just pinch the heel or rub it, whatever feels good. Just kind of pay some attention to that heel, going to the Achilles tendon behind the ankles, giving that a squeeze. And then we'll use our hands to rub the top of the foot, going back up with our hands towards the toes. And then we're gonna give our toes some special individual attention. So starting with the pinky, just kind of squeeze and pull a little bit. This will help with circulation as well. Just continue down the line with the toes. Stopping where it feels good. One toe might need more attention than the other. Good, and then we're going to interlace our fingers in between the toes. And if that's not an option right now, just go ahead and grab the foot, that's fine. And we're just gonna bend the toes back, or forward actually, and then pull them back. And then we're gonna let the ankle be loose, not using any muscles in the foot, just grabbing using our arm muscles. And we're just gonna do some circles. Just gonna do a few, maybe clockwise, and then do a counterclockwise. Doesn't matter what direction you start with, as long as you're doing both directions. And then we'll come to a stop, just give that foot a little rub, and we'll do the other side. So left leg goes on top. You might notice that sitting like this is actually part of the pose as well. So you're opening up the hips. I'm having you pay attention to your feet to kind of distract yourself from all this stretching that's going on deep in the hips. So go ahead and press the pad underneath the second and third toes. And then we'll continue down the foot to the heel. And then, of course, the Achilles. And then go ahead, when you're ready, start to massage the top of the foot up towards the toes. And then we'll start with the toes squeezing and pulling, just giving them a little massage. It's so important to practice, keeping the toes spread. We shove, and we have been doing this for centuries, of course, shoving our feet into little tiny boxes that are not the natural shape of our foot. And that, considering our feet are the foundation of how we stand, that's pretty important stuff. So that's why we do the interlacing of the fingers. If you can't do it now, that's okay. Just keep practicing. Eventually you will get there. And then just kind of make sure the ankle is loose. And then we'll bend the toes towards the top of the foot, pull them back, and then we'll do our circle rotations. So just 3 or 4 in one direction, and then reverse it. And then shake that out a little bit, give the foot a rub, and then we're gonna put our feet flat on the floor with the knees bent. We're gonna take fists, we're not gonna be like punching the heck out of our legs. We just wanna be tapping with the flat part of our fist. Start with the outside of the leg, just giving the legs a tap, going down the outside of the leg, and then the top of the legs. And then coming to the inside of the legs, going down towards the feet, and then we'll do the bottom of the legs. Kind of weaken up those nerve endings. And you'll just notice a little bit of tingling going on, and it feels pretty good. And we're gonna come into child's pose. So hands and knees with the knees bent. They're at the edges of the mat, so knees are separated, and then you're going to sit on the heels. Walk the hands forward, but only until you're on your forearms. What I want you to do is open up your palms and just kind of rest your forehead in the palms of your hands. So basically just supporting yourself here for a moment. You're always supporting other people and taking care of other people. You need to do that for yourself once in a while. So as you're here, you're just going to take a few breaths. Child's pose is a pose of surrender. So tap into that for a moment. As you're breathing in and out, knowing that it's okay to take that break and rest and take care of yourself. And one more time, deep breath in. And then exhale. And go ahead and bring the forearms back to the mat. We're going to just lift the butt up, walk the forearms forward a little bit, and bring the chest to the mat. Some of us, it's not going to go all the way down. That's okay. We just want to release the muscles around the spine for a moment. If you're able to bring your chest to the mat, go ahead and do that. My spine doesn't have that type of flexibility yet, but I can bring my forehead to the mat or a blanket, and I can still feel a release around the spine and the lower back. So the legs are supporting you. Also, our traps, our muscles in the tops of the shoulders, which can get really tense because the traps are really, sometimes they like to be the boss of the shoulder girdle and think that they can do all the work when we really have the support of the serratus muscles and the shoulder blades, the muscles around the shoulder blades to help us. So by keeping the forearms on the mat, we're just making those muscles, those traps be soft. And we're going to breathe here. Come back to the breath. See if you can let the spine drop a little bit more towards the front of the body. See if you can let the heart fall to the mat just a little bit more. And then on your next exhalation, lift the head. And we're going to turn this into frog pose. So we're just going to shift the pelvis forward, let the knees slide out to the sides. Your feet will have a tendency, they will probably want to rise, okay? So you can bring the soles of the feet together, or, and just kind of rest on your arms and let the feet hang heavy towards the mat. That does feel good, even though they're up in the air. Better if you even have something under there to support it, like a block or something. You can also just let the feet come out to the sides, as long as you're feeling that opening in the inner thighs and the hips. And we'll take a couple breaths here. And then on your next exhalation, let's go ahead and bring or walk the legs back together. You can use your toes to support that. We're going to be doing cobra, so now we're coming into just one big leg here, right? Palms are flat on the mat, hands will be towards the lower ribs. We're going to draw the inner edges of the shoulder blades towards each other. Also, the elbows will be squeezing towards each other. And on your next inhalation, keep a nice long spine, long neck. Press the hands, lift into cobra. And then press those toes down towards the floor. So one big strong leg behind you. On your next exhalation, lower. We're going to do that one more time. Again, inhale, lift. Reaching that spine out of the waist. Don't want to feel compression in the lower back, so create space between the vertebrae as well. Exhale, lower. Good. Curl the toes under and then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift yourself into downward facing dog. So you might need to walk the hands forward a little bit. And we're just going to move the body here for a moment. So pedal the feet, move the hips, drop the head, shake it around a little bit gently. Good. And then slowly come to a stop with your walking. Press the hands. Make sure your hands are set up good. So wrist creases parallel to the front of the mat, pressing with the roots of the hands, roots of the fingers. And then press the thigh bones up and back and get those ears lined up at the inner arms. Nice long spine. Good. Wrap the shoulders to the back of the body. And then bring the right leg up in the air. We're just going to allow the heel to fall to the butt. So gravity will help us kind of open up the hip here. Even out the armpits. They'll have a tendency, that right one will want to lift, so even them back out. And then on your next exhalation, we're just going to bring that right foot forward. You can stay in this high lunge. We'll go into crescent or drop the back knee. Inhale, lift, reaching the arms up. And as you exhale, soften that left hip flexor towards the mat. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Come back into down dog. And then reach the left leg up. So three-legged dog. And then let the heel hang towards the butt. Even out the armpits. Good. Next exhalation, bring the left leg through. Stay high or go low. Inhale, reach the arms up. Palms will go towards the back of the mat, and that will show you that your shoulders are grounded. Your arms need to be as straight as possible, or should be as straight as possible. Although anatomically, my arms don't go straight, so just goes to show how different our bodies will all be. Inhale, reach. Exhale, come down. Downward facing dog. Good. And then we're going to walk to the front of the mat. Press the feet. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Walk the legs back, coming into plank. We're just going to do one round of sun salutations here. So chaturanga. Down. Hands to the lower ribs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg forward. Hop forward as you exhale and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Soften that lower back. Keep the knees bent if you need to. Keep the belly over the thighs here. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Then go ahead and reach the arms out to the sides. And we're just gonna overlap the arms and kind of hug ourselves here. So palms to the back of the body, reach the fingertips as close together as you can. Keep the legs nice and strong. Pay attention to what you're doing there. And just give yourself a hug. And another breath. And then open up the arms. Whatever arm was on top will be on the bottom this time. So switch arms, reach behind you, hug yourself. It'll feel like you're hugging someone else now. And take this moment to give yourself a little affirmation. Like, I am so awesome and I can totally do this. Because you are so awesome and you can totally do this. Good. And slowly bring the arms open, and we're just going to shake it out and come down to our mats. All right, we are going to finish this up by just lying down on our backs. And then bringing the knees up to the chest. And we'll just do what feels good here. If it does feel okay to rock a little bit left to right, go ahead and do that. You can drop the feet, straighten the legs, arms up overhead for the longest stretch of your life, circling the wrists and the ankles. You did an amazing job. And we are just going to do a short Shavasana here. It could be actually as long as you want it to be, but we are going to keep today's practice short and sweet. Palms to the ceiling, open up the legs, drop the feet out to the side. Chin is a little bit lower than the forehead. Shoulder blades are flat on the mat. And just take a deep breath in. And then exhale. And we're going to do that 2 more times, 2 more breaths. But I want you, as you inhale, to kind of gather up any stress or tension that you feel that is left over, floating around in the body. So breathe in and collect all of that garbage. And then let it go and release it as you exhale. One more time, breathe in, collecting any extra stress or tension floating around the body. And release it as you exhale. And then return to a regular passive breath. Feel the bones getting heavy, as if they're sinking to the back of the body. And give yourself permission to spend the next few moments in quiet. Nothing else to do. Nothing else to do except to surrender to gravity. And then start to deepen your inhalations. Gently wiggling the fingers and the toes. And then one at a time, as slow as can be, we're going to bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. And then slowly roll onto your right side, using your arms as a pillow. Use this last moment as an opportunity to let go of that one last thing that's just no longer useful to you. And then use your arms to bring you up. Bringing your hands together at your heart center. Thank you for letting me guide you today. The teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in you. Namaste.